Well, this is my concealed carry elastic belt, I guess you call it. Closes with Velcro and actually modified it a little bit because I did not like the, I'm probably not going to use this weapon. I'm probably going to use the 9mm version of the 1911 with, that's got 775 aluminum, T6 aluminum, so it won't rust, right? This is the steel model, and I didn't like the fact that this could rub against your body or something and get rust on it, or rust on the screw, or sweat in here in these screws. So I made a little bit of a flap, and I got some black dye I could put over the stitches, which this is your from Speedy Stitcher All. I used the Speedy Stitcher All for that, for like leather and stuff. And I had some vinyl, marine grade vinyl. So I made a little flap over here so this part won't touch my skin and get rusty. This part up here won't touch my skin and get rusty. Also, I did not trust this stupid Velcro thing, because after a while it does wear out. So what I did was I took some paracord and I made a little bit of put a button in there. I made like a little button loop with the paracord like this, and I can always adjust this tighter or looser. But it's an extra security because, I do know that, you got to conceal weapons, permit and stuff, but if anything happens whereby the weapon is accidentally shown and somebody in law enforcement sees it or something, you know what I mean? Even though your shirt rode up, or say this belt came loose and it came down lower, it became visible, you can just get a whole bunch of crap for that, depending on who the guy is, right? So that's what I'm trying to avoid. So it's covered up better from sweat. It's also more secure, and I suggest getting that Speedy Stitcher All to, or just use anything to modify whatever you have to make it a little bit better, because it seems like no matter what's out there, it's not perfect. This thing seems to, I was going to put like a holster in here, attach a regular holster to this, but this elastic, unless it wears out eventually, but even if it wears out, I can reinforce it with some of this vinyl, over here. It seems to fit this little Colt Commander pretty damn good. So, and these are not bad weapons to carry for, I think the aluminum version, the 775 T6 aluminum version versus the steel version, it's going to be a little lighter, and also it's going to be 9mm to have an extra couple rounds in it. Probably, I think it's 8+1 or 9+1, depending on what magazine you use. It's pretty short, it's pretty thin, and I'm not carrying it lock and cocked. I'm going to carry it hammer down. But when you think about it, which I've already been carrying it, when you think about it, the old 6-shooters they used to have, the single action ones, you had to pull the hammer back anyway. It doesn't take that long to pull the hammer back. It's sort of like a extra good safety in a way. So I'm probably going to carry it like that. Now, of course, if you see, concealed carry and going into the combat zone are two different animals, completely different. Obviously, I probably wouldn't want a 1911 it's not bad. It's not a bad weapon at all, but there's better stuff. I like the Beretta, to tell you the truth. Regular military issue, that was the military issue Beretta. I like that one. I think it's a very good weapon. It's got enough capacity, 17 rounds and stuff, and 9mm is not really crappy. But I can shoot this thing. I can shoot this thing pretty good. So, but I figure if I'm carrying around and I'm not on duty protecting something vital to national security. I'm not going to. This is concealed carry. It's going to take. Somebody's going to argue with me and say, "Oh, that's stupid." I'm carrying it hammer down. To me, the hammer is the safety. You got to pull this back for it to fire. Before you can actually fire. That's giving you a real good margin of safety from any kind of accidental discharge or anything. Actually, the only thing you got to worry about is when you unload it or something. The 45, or actually when you load it and you let the hammer down easy. I'm not going to carry it lock and cock. That's more for, I don't think it's really necessary for concealed carry. And I personally don't like the way the Glocks feel, and maybe that's just because of what I've been used to. And I know they're super reliable and everything. And I don't like a weapon. That's why I'm not too keen on revolvers. I don't like a weapon that doesn't have a safety on it. I know you can get the Beretta with the decocker. But I mean, if you don't use pistols and you should use a rifle actually in other situations. Far more used to rifles than pistols anyway. But the thing is, if you're concealed carrying, I personally, I might get the Beretta PX4. What do you call that? The Beretta Storm. It's double action first shot. It's got a safety on it. Sort of like the regular full-size Beretta. The M9, whatever you call that thing. So, but to me, concealed carry and being in another environment or whatever it is, or having another mission requirement, whatever are two different things. Personally prefer something with a safety on it, double action first shot, or this is a great weapon for concealed carry because you carry something hammered down. I mean, it's not going to take you. I mean, it's a split second to pull a hammer back, for crying out loud. Somebody say, "Well, that's the difference between life and death." Well, you know what? There's a lot of things. It could be a split second. It could be what you notice. It might take you 5 seconds to figure out what something's going on. Versus a split second to pull the hammer back. But just remember, that's how all the revolvers used to be. You had to pull the hammer back. Just think of it that way. Then after that, it's it works just fine. In a 9mm, you could have an 8+1. It's really pretty good, but these are pretty thin. If you get thinner grips on them too, these are pretty thin. That's what I like about them. But the single stacks are pretty good. So, but I just want to point out a lot of this stuff they sell. You can modify it, to make it a little bit better. This is supposed to be for your magazines. I probably won't carry. Maybe I'll carry an extra magazine. This is for I don't know what. I don't know. That's what it is. Probably made in China or something. But like I said, you could always improve it. And I swear I do not trust these. These Velcros are great when they're new, but as they start getting worn out, they wear out. You're pretty damn screwed up. You're wearing your concealed carry belt, and all of a sudden it starts coming loose, and it's hanging down, and you're quote unquote brandishing. You don't want to be doing that, even if it's by accident, because you know what? Depends on where you are. I'm not sure. I'd be way less worried about accidentally brandishing in Tennessee or Georgia or something like that versus Florida, but it depends on where you are, man. I don't know, maybe not so much in my county, but who the hell knows. But I want to make sure I do not accidentally brandish due to equipment malfunction. So that's why we got this on here. And we got this for, so the weapon is covered up, right? Covered up. You're not going to get sweat on here and cause rust, So stupid things you could do that make things better. So, and really, these aren't. I think the 1911 in aluminum frame and a 9mm 8+1. It actually is a very good concealed carry weapon. But it's whatever you want it. I prefer this because I was used to shooting it. I don't want to get used to something else. That's another thing too. But it is actually very good because 8+1 is pretty good. 9mm is pretty good. It's thinner. You can get thinner grips than this. This is a 45 that's in here. So we got the 9mm I'm working on. So we'll get that one ready. But even this one, the 45 ammo and a steel frame, it doesn't feel heavy to carry at all. This is the commander length. What do you call it? It's a little shorter than a full-size one. So, and you could carry, with this thing, with this setup, I can actually probably put my Beretta in there, carry that thing. That actually might be the better thing to do. You know, get 17 shots and stuff. Because this belt seems to work pretty well. So maybe that's what I might do for a while too. Who knows? Carry a full size